shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Woo! Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, that guy from Demon Review, another movie review. And if you wonder why I'm so wired and hyped, it's because I literally just got home from seeing Batman v Superman. That's probably really, really loud, and I don't really care because that movie was awesome. For those of you who see my general demeanor after seeing said movie and driving all the way home, holy shit! Everything's in the movie. But mostly everything from the rumors are in the movie. But most of the rumors are true. I won't tell you which ones aren't, and I won't tell you which ones are, but a lot of them are in the movie. I'm very hyper right now, because I just saw the movie and you didn't. I'm sorry, 5-year-old me came out. Okay. So, Act 1. Act 2. Dear God, help me when it comes to Act 3. Not that's a bad thing. Just I have to find a way to word that. Whew. Okay. So, movie starts with a very familiar scene we've seen hundreds of times in all Batman movies. And for those of you who haven't watched a Batman movie, why the fuck haven't you watched a Batman movie? And slight spoiler alert. Even though for most of you who've seen a Batman movie and seen the trailers, not a spoiler. This movie opens with the death of Batman's parents. Not a spoiler because we saw it in the trailer. But yeah, this movie starts with a voiceover from Bruce Wayne. And he's saying all this stuff. And it's all epic and whatnot. And I can't actually remember what he said right now because I'm a little hyper. But it was pretty badass. And just watching the whole scene of his parent die and then finds the cave just like the other night. And they do flashbacky stuff, and I'm not going to get into all that because that's spoiler territory, but flashbacks, grave, blah, 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 blah. That's how the movie opens. And then not next scene, but the next part is also from the trailer. You have the Senate hearing. I'm skipping over something that happened, but you have a Senate hearing involving an incident with Superman. And, you know, she says the quote from the trailer. We spent so much time asking, like, fascinated what Superman could do. We shouldn't be asking what he should do. And that is the moral compass of this movie. Because, again, they do another parallel with Bruce Wayne. The Bruce Wayne scenes, without going into too much detail, basically show his side of events from the Battle of Metropolis. It's not really spoiling anything. We assumed he was there given the trailer. You know, building being destroyed. He seems those two fighting. It's not spoiler territory if it's in the trailer, in my opinion. So, you see him get this moral compass thing going. And then, stuff happens that I can't really say because spoilers. Which I'm not going to say because it's the spoiler-free review and I can't wait to shoot the non-spoiler review. So, you hear reports of this bat vigilante in Gotham who had tortured and branded 2 criminals already. And Clark's like, yo, why aren't we covering this bat thing? Why are we covering Superman? And then Perry's like, man, we don't got time for yo, Superman. I know it's really racist that he's black and I'm making him sound like that, but he's like, yo, man, we don't got time for yo, Superman. Write this sports piece about injured athlete, which might be a Cyborg reference, but I wasn't really sure. So, a bunch of stuff happens, and we have the scene from the trailer where Clark Kent meets Bruce Wayne. Classic pairing, and I'm looking very Lexi right now. Anyway, that happens after a bunch of stuff happens, and it's really, really well done. All of it's really well done. We see Gal Gadot in there, and I'm just gonna touch on Wonder Woman right now. She is done right. I apologize for any bad comments I may have said about Gal Gadot being cast as Wonder Woman because we hadn't really seen her act in anything before. But hey, you have Nolan producing, Snyder directing, and Ben Affleck as a co-director, even though he wasn't really directing, but he was there, so he has a director lens. You can get a good performance out of anybody. So Wonder Woman, holy shit! we have this whole prep to the fight. There's this build up to the fight. You know, how am I going to fight him? How am I going to get the materials to fight him? What is Lex doing with the stuff he's doing? You know, you see in the trailer, Zod's body. What does Lex want with that? And ultimately, this movie comes together to a great climax. In fact, it's a climax a lot of you aren't expecting. I will say for that trailer number 2 that featured, spoiler alert, mute me for about 5 seconds, starting now. Doomsday. Welcome back, everybody. That muted. So anyway, after he shows up, he shows up post Batman v Superman fight, which, by the way, they tried to make it look not one-sided by having one guy seem like he has the upper hand, then the next guy, then the other guy, and then it ends with the clear winner, which, for those of you who read the comics, know who the clear winner is. Yes, it went the comic route. Sorry, fanboys. But not sorry for the other side of fanboys. So then other stuff happens, and I'm not going to get into the rest of the movie because that's spoiler territory. And third act is them fighting the creation of Lex Luthor. Those of you who didn't mute know who I'm talking about. Those of you who did, Lex antagonizes, the three have to fight. It's a beautiful fight. And then mute again for 10 seconds. Starting now. Okay, muted. Okay, so, if you guys have seen the Death of Superman comic and Doomsday, yes. Spoiler over. And welcome back, everybody who muted away again. So, yeah, they adapted that comic that I just mentioned in the mute, but they did it in an interesting way, just like they adapted the comic Dark Knight Returns in an interesting way. There is a lot of background that has been referenced. Because Alfred's like, what are you doing this? Like, trying to make your mark on the world. And then Bruce is like, you know, I've been alive longer than my father ever has, and what do I have to show for it? And then Alfred's like, so you mean 20 years of crime fighting isn't enough to show for anything? And he's like, I guess not, but I need to do this, and this is somewhere in the movie, because I'm not going to tell you, because I don't want to spoil much of anything for you, because that's for my spoilers review, which I'm going to shoot right after this. Which, if you're going to watch my spoilers review, please only watch it if you want. If you have watched Batman v Superman, I don't want anyone complaining that I ruined the movie for them, because I got to see it early. But yeah, a lot of cameos, a lot of good shit happening in this movie. The fight was epic. Short-lived, mind you, but epic. Then there was the other fight. And it's very back and forth of the morality of Superman dealing with basically being a god and how the human race would deal with something like that. And eventually, you know, seeing as this is set up for Justice League, you know, Batman and Superman have to end on semi-good terms. We all know Wonder Woman's in the movie because I mentioned her before. They end on good terms. And then we all live happily ever after. And this has been a very vague review of stuff that happened because the stuff that did happen is massive bomb-dropping spoilers left and right. And I may have revealed the giant spoiler in the mute, but as I said, they did adapt that comic differently. It was heavily inspired by, however, they did. And a quick little note for the end of the movie. For those of you who don't have quick eyes, I'm not going to spoil anything, but just keep in mind, the dirt is moving. The dirt is moving. Now, having said that, you're not going to think anything of it until you see the movie. Just know that a lot of dirt flies in this movie, and yes, it is always moving. Whether that be from superhero clashes or scientist stuff or cities blowing up because Superman can't fight without blowing up a city. I don't know why. It's like poor Metropolis. Yeah, pretty sure I said everything about this movie in a very fast manner, and I can't believe fucking 10.5 minutes have gone by. So I'm gonna cut it here, people, and stay tuned for my spoilers review, which I can't reiterate enough. Do not watch unless you've seen Batman v Superman coming out this Thursday at 6 p.m., depending where you are, and comes to wide release on Friday. But everyone knows movies come out on Thursday, and we're gonna break out 3 people. 1, 2, 3, Batman v Superman, break.